Okay, so how do we see Sat Nishan's message? How do we do?
Oh, on the link that I sent to you last week, for that, do you want me to read it to you? I can read the message to you right now.
Yes, yes, please.
Okay, let me navigate to the screen. Um,
Oh,
um, I can, oh, okay. So she says, my heart felt anxious, hesitant, and on defense in the process of building a fortress around it, as I have so many times in my life. As I felt that familiar feeling, I did heart breath to keep open, flowing, loving, and compassion for my dear heart, my younger self, my everyday self. And then for heart pumping, she says, courage, strength, victory. As I did this Kriya, Baba Siri Chand sat right in front of me. With every pump, he grew bigger, until he had both enveloped me and I became him, inside and out. He reminded me of his power, of my power, of our power, and the power of truth and love. I have experienced miracles, miracles when calling upon him and trusting him and my soul. All negativity coming my way is neutralized. Foolishness is stopped. Like the scene in The Matrix when Neo is being shot at from every angle and simply puts his hand up and softly says no, and all the bullets fall to the ground, completely disarmed. That is the truth. Remember, heart pumping with ego eradicator posture. Toward the darkness, I felt endless connection and invincible courage. Mother Earth grounded us and enveloped the darkness, digesting it as compost. Baba Siri Chand said, I eat darkness for breakfast. Send all your fear and doubt my way. Invincible, indivisible. And then she says, I love you all. Thank you. Asante Sana. Let's continue to remind each other of who we are and what we are here to do. The time is now. Waheguru Satnam.
God bless you. That's wonderful.
Isn't that wonderful?
Isn't that amazing?
Very
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
she is. She's great,
Hmm.
especially knowing what's happening.
Hmm.
Did everybody see about Satni Shan's, what was that,
The
speech?
Martin Luther King. Yes, I
Oh,
found it so moving.
Yes, it
mm,
was.
beautiful.
Yeah, but I wish I could see her her face more because it was about the hand. What is that called
Mm.
with deaf people?
Sign language.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So it's amazing because actually all of what she was talking about is about from Baba Siri Chand. And that means coming from Sat Nishan and us. Okay.
Mm.
So first of all, let's just tune in. Okay. So since uh so um begin tuning in and inhale. Om Namah Gurudev
Gurudev
Namo
Namo.
Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. And continue. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Stay with your voice, everybody. Not muted, but with us. Okay?
Oh,
So we're going to continue with Aagia Nameh. So begin.
Ved Bachan, Jugat guray, Nameh,
Sahej
guray, Nameh,
Siri
Gurudev,
Nameh.
Ad Nameh, Jugat
Nameh,
Sahaj Nameh, Siri Nameh,
Aagia
Nameh,
Nameh,
Jugat
Ad Nameh,
Sahej
Sahaj Nameh,
Siri
Siri
Gurudev.
Nameh.
And breathe. Okay, so we've just had you all for tuning in for Harimandir and also for Sat City. Okay. As we know, I'm so sorry. With this time, with the news, I'm saying with this difficulty with all of this. So this is what Baba Siri Chand says. Okay, now this is going to be two different session. No, it's just two different parts we're going to say. Okay, now the first part is about, do you remember heart pumping? Do you all remember that?
Yes, like heart breath with breath of fire.
That's right. Now that means that you can either use the arms up like, what was that?
Ego Eradicator.
Yeah, it could be with that or not with your arm, but you know about your bellows in your belly, and then have the energy to come out through your heart. Okay? Do you remember your heart bumping? Okay? So what's going to happen is we have, first of all, 1 minute with heart pumping, and the next 2 minutes are going to be for strength. Now, this is from Baba Siri Chand for you as strength. Do you understand that? Do you all get that?
The first minute is heart pumping, and then the next 2 minutes are for our strength.
Yeah, meditation from Baba Siri Chand, and the strength is from you.
So
Okay,
we're going to be doing it for a total of 3 minutes.
that's correct. You got it.
Okay.
Heart pumping for 3 minutes?
No, pumping for 1 minute.
Okay. All right. Got it.
Good. Okay. So here we go. And inhale and begin. And now meditate with strength, for your strength, from Baba Siri Chand. Inhale and continue breath, front breath, with strength in the meditation. and breathe. Okay, Aagia Pal.
Yes, ma'am. The I've been doing this meditation all week with the breath of fire, fear eradicator, and a heart pumping, and I love it. I love it. And so I did as Baba Siri Chand requested, and then um, the next 2 minutes. So I asked Baba, okay, so what do you want me to do to gain strength and uh, beyond, what I've done? And he told me that I need to lighten up a bit because my strength energy is being channeled in the wrong direction. It's being channeled in the direction of anger, in the direction of fear, and in the direction of negativity. So he said I had to lighten up a bit. And then these old commercials, what he did was he looked at me and he curled his bicep and held his fist tight, and he curled his bicep, and he just looked at me until I kind of smiled, and I know he was trying to get me to sort of relax into my strength and to recognize that my strength, that strength and gentleness comes out of strength. So he said, because we don't see we see strong people being very gentle, and so he wanted me to work on being gentle. Therefore I needed to work more on my self-compassion, self-confidence, and keep up with the fear eradication. But the key that came out of this is for me to be more gentle, less judgmental, and that comes from, as he explained, from my increased strength, my inner strength. And yep. So then that was pretty much there was a lot there, but I think those are the highlights.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
But keep flowing. Keep understanding that over and over.
Yeah.
Really change all of us. Okay,
Yes.
good.
Thank you.
This is great. And Baba Siri Chand he's so laughing. Oh, that's what he does. And he also says begin and movement. So like little kids, how you move, let's just do that. I'll flail all around you. Just feel that. Okay. So, yeah. So now is Sahej.
Oh, my mic was open that whole time. So when you told me, listen for Laughton, and I had like a bunch of different reactions to that because I was still in bed at that time, and not feeling physically great. And
Mhm.
and like, what if I'm not going to be able to hear him? And what if I'm not going to be able to say it? And then I just heard, Mama. And it was like, oh,
There
okay.
you go.
I was like, well, that's Laughton. There's no faking that. Look,
That's right.
Mama. And and then he was showing me
Ooh.
Laughton was
Mhm.
showing me this event that happened, um, and that it's recorded in number 333 of the recordings of these talks. That there was a time where he and I were very, very are and were in life very strongly linked intuitively. And one day I got very alarmed that something was up. Now he did, you know, uh, high adrenaline sports things and things that involved calculated risk a lot. So I didn't get alarmed if I knew he was doing something like that. And at the time, he was going on a trip to somewhere in Vancouver, BC, and he was going to go trekking across an ice field. I wasn't particularly worried. He has training for all of that. I didn't have any reason to feel worried, but all of a sudden one day, my mother alarm started going off.
Mhm.
And I always pay attention to that because it's a particular frequency and I know what that is. But I was trying to sit with it. And by that night or the next morning, I was super alarmed because I knew they were going to be out of range. And I'm trying to condense the story a little bit, but it got to the point where I was given the information that I needed to go and meditate. I knew there was something really, I don't know how to say this. It's not like there's something wrong right now in this moment, but there's something in the realm of possibilities that's really drastic and could go very, very wrong. And
Right. Mhm.
sometimes, if there's a situation that, you know, I feel like I need help to, I would go to friends and ask for prayers or something. But I was told absolutely clearly, don't even speak this to another human being because the tolerances are so tight that one little negative projection
Mm.
could throw the balance. So I separated myself from people and I just meditated. And then I went with Lottie today. He was showing me Remember the Moon. And on like that second night, I was just praying like a warrior. And I looked out at the moon and I was speaking to the moon. And I said, you're the same moon that my son is under. And I'm banking my prayers off of you. And like that was the intention. And then sometimes that next day, we got a message from his emergency beacon, but you don't get an answer right away. You only get a text that says, the emergency beacon's been activated. And so it was another quite a long while before I actually found out what happened. And I did get a call from Laughton, and he said, oh, I forgot. In the very beginning, when things were so scary, I went to his Facebook page and I wrote Ad Nameh, I wrote it all the way out on his Facebook page. And I thought, I don't care if he chastises me later for putting that on his Facebook page or whatever. But when I spoke to him and he told me kind of what happened, it was very dramatic. He was with another guy. They hit a snowstorm and they got snowed in like a whiteout for like a couple of days. And he and this guy were tied off to each other. And at one point when they were walking, the guy just kind of freaked out. He had less experience than Laughton and like was like, like sometimes people will freak out on a boat and they'll try to climb out of the boat in the middle of the ocean. It was that kind of thing, but in the snow. And the guy actually like charged off and went onto a cornice, which is, if you don't know it, it's like where the wind packs the snow really hard, but it's overhanging air, not land. So the guy went out onto the cornice and the cornice broke. But he was tied off to Laughton, who was able to save him. So the tolerances had been very, very tight. So he didn't tell me all that then, but he just said, hey, we're okay. And then I told him, I said, I knew something was up and I was praying for you. And I said, I banked my prayers off the moon. I don't remember this whole sequence of events because first he just called me and said he's all right. And then he called me back like 5 minutes later and he said, oh my God, Mama, I just went to my Facebook page and you had written Ad Nameh on there. And I said, yeah. And he goes, the morning that the storm stopped, I woke myself up chanting Ad Nameh, Ad Nameh. And he said, and I opened the tent flap and the first thing I saw was the moon.
Say it again.
He said, I opened the tent flap and the first thing I saw was the moon because I had told him I was banking my prayers off the moon, like a bank shot when you're playing pool, right? I'm going to use the moon to bank my shot of prayers. And this morning when I was recalling all of that memory, Lottie was just sitting here with me and he said, see that, Mama? And there's a powerful full moon tonight. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bank my prayers off the moon too. I'm going to send it to you.
Wow. Isn't that amazing?
It's so sweet.
Yes. And so you all know what's really happening, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's wonderful. And can you use that whenever you need strength? Can you do that?
Yes, and it reminded me of something. I'm hearing it now that like there are those moments where I need to go completely within myself. I'm looking for the words here. That I also have to protect myself from other people's projections at times, and that's perfectly solid.
Mm-hmm.
Especially now that people are really strange around death, and that people have a lot of judgments.
Wow.
And it's always struck me as really odd when someone dies. Either the family will say, they died peacefully in their bed after a struggle with cancer or something like that, or the family won't say. And so many people will say, what happened? And I've always felt like people say, what happened? And unconsciously, they're thinking, tell me what happened so I can decide how much empathy I'm going to have for you in this situation, or I need some fodder for my judgment here. And people don't do that consciously, but unconsciously they absolutely do. And so I guess I'm being reminded that part of my strength is to be able to, or the thing that is strengthening for me is to simply recognize that I need to just keep myself separate from that and not worry about it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And ask Baba Siri Chand what to do with that. Just feel it.
I just feel a sense of really strength in my core, and that I'm just hearing you're the example.
Okay.
Like how I proceed and how I choose to act and how I carry myself. I'm the example, and I don't have to be a particular thing. I can be exactly who I am, exactly dealing with myself in the situation. But I really do feel that, like, I'm being shown that really powerful inner strength that I absolutely have. And
Wow.
I'm hearing, yes, and you got that from your mother.
Wow. Isn't that wonderful?
It's impressive.
Yes. Oh, well, this is good. And
Yeah.
thank you. And thank Laughton
Mm-hmm.
and Baba Siri Chand.
Mm-hmm. That was the other thing, that in the middle of this, you know, first coming through, I flashed on him sitting in front of at Majaya's, sitting in front of the Baba Siri Chand there. We had that picture up.
Mhm.
Yeah, that flashed into my mind. We used to go there and meditate all the time when we were down there after solstice.
Right. I remember. Good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, dear. And
Thank
you
you.
got it.
Wow, I
Don't
feel so
forget.
much better.
Don't forget.
I
This,
won't.
this is great.
Yes, thank you.
Gian Das Prem. Are you there? Gian Das Prem?
Satnam, thank you very much.
Mhm.
Um, for me, it was noticing the stillness inside and the letting, not getting, but letting, and the open, inward, kind heart within the breath, and noticing the inside of the body by the veins, strings, and capillaries, moving through like a cloud when we breathe. I was seeing a tree, and the other examples of life just come through so powerful for me, with noticing the difficulties that we have and within this body at times, and the challenges that we give ourselves to overcome that adversity, whether it be physical pain or mental pain, and that within that deep sitting and that deep meditation, we can find a way to heal ourselves, to be with that way of the other in that empathetic, compassionate manner. And I was given a visual of an elephant running towards the ocean, screaming. And when he got there, there were dolphins and there were killer whales, and they just wanted to share. Yes, we still love our family as equally as they are given to us, and that the noticing of them coming together in that language that they have of, being able to find a way from under the water, right? From being in that womb and then coming out to this other place that we're living in. And when I see Baba Siri Chand, you know, the laughter, the way of that laughter and the understanding in that laughter of that full, there's some crying inside of that laughter too, that builds the heart enough that will give us the strength to be a witness enough for our truth to come forward when we're called upon to help the others, which is our ultimate human gift, is to help others with this freedom that we've been given from the earth. And going back to a tree, I always loved climbing them when I was a kid, and now I go and I hug them and I try to feel the roots and see the way that it lives as my example. And you know, coming back to these words and explanations, there's a certain way of that noticing. Like for me yesterday, yeah, it was the sun and the moon being almost at the same level, and that power of, you know, being able to see and be a witness to all of that immense power, right? That we're here and that we have some sort of a control, but then, yeah, within the explanation, there's a brain in there too, right? That's sort of working as a defensive mechanism. But also when we go into another state, which often the heart and the breathing will be a way to bring us to that other state, whether it's by a traumatic event or whether it's by us noticing our breath. Some of us run, some of us walk, and some of us we can breathe deeper if we don't have the ability to move so much as we did when we were younger. And I think noticing that full picture of that and coming back to a life is, yeah, the adventure, the seeking and the adventure and the opening and that communication of how we're able to perpetuate our own life out to the world. There's a sense of just being, right? And that individual experience is, you know, explained like so much through science, but we have a way of coming together in our conversation that, you know, maybe we know that same person in our life, and then we mention the name and that other person says, oh, that's my friend. The full circle, right? That full circle of who we are as a species here, this humanity, this opening of the communication, this allowing of the freedom, this letting of the convictions of other people, but still we have a voice, right? So our vibration and our voice will, it's like layers, the sediment layers, how it makes a picture, right? And at times we have a chance to step back and see that within the practice. And I think the practice is the important part for me, yeah. And noticing that and just turning back to the other lives that are here, because let's face it, as humans, we are the less species here. There are other species who have much bigger numbers than we do, and they've been communicating here on Earth for so long, and they're still doing it for us. So when I see the elephant talking to the dolphin, I just see them smiling. They smile, right? And I think within that noticing of that ability for that cycle, you know, we can have the strength to be able to help each other in that Waheguru of, yeah, all of this movement, right? All of these planets and realms and colors and tones and vibrations, and yeah, that we're here together. And I offer my help to those who are willing to be helped. And I can move away from that explanation too, because the fear needs to go away, right? For us to be there, and it's of our own timing, but there are times when we can be held, right? And yeah, like back in the day when we would witness as a father a child being born, and then we could, you know, have the woman and the baby, and we're all just embraced in this hug together. And I'm just feeling that now, of that familial way of the human family coming together. Waheguru, thank you so much for this breath, this gift of life.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Waheguru.
Okay. Ved Bachan.
During the first part of the heart pumping, Baba Siri Chand's mantra came in, like as I was doing that. And when I kind of did it mentally, it really shifted the experience to like a bigger field of light that was emanating out and sort of tied into the strength, like and joining with him and joining with soul. And then he was sharing about the discipline to be like rooted and grounded in love and in devotion to my own soul, with and through time, in silence and in nature. And he was just saying it's your surrender to your own heart and your own knowing, the felt sense of truth as a vibration brings strength, especially in a group field. And the just helping me to continue to slow my breath down, like more and more, brings strength. And also he was just sharing to play more, to find a way to laugh more and play more. And he showed the image of a flower and the strength of a flower, how it has its soft open petals receiving the sun and giving of its own pollen and then sending its electrical signals of light out. He also showed the V that the geese make so that the whole flock of geese can, they fly together, and then how the roots and mycelium join together, interacting with each other and giving each other strength. So to me, it was like we have these, circles, so many circles of support, that we're receiving from and then giving back to. When our heart field is open, we can really feel the truth of that and the impact of that. But for me personally, when I'm in fear or frozen in some way, afraid, I can't feel any of that. And so through the slowing down, being in silence and opening, through prayer, that's like a beautiful way to step into strength, through vulnerability. Yeah, it was really powerful. Thank you.
Okay. Now, what was the last word? Say it again.
The strength and vulnerability.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I just want to ask you something. When you were talking about that, were you saying what you were talking about, not only from you, but also from other people? Is that true? Putting together?
Like you're saying, other people coming together in prayer. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, like it's when we're all in our hearts opening and with like joint prayer or joint being in soul, it magnifies. Yeah.
Good. Because you know, what is it? Prediction? I remember about Yogi Bhajan, and he would say, in the future, we would say that we would be as one. And then I would say, No, I don't want to do that with other people. But now what you're talking about, do you understand?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Harimandir.
Yeah. Today is a festival of light throughout Asia.
Oh.
The end of the formal celebrations of the Lunar New Year of the snake, the wood snake.
Mhm.
And it is a time of light, of families coming together, of making little candles that float in the water, that kind of thing. And we're in a cycle. The last wood snake was 60 years ago, but this whole this huge cycle ends this year. This is a 9-year, 2 + 2 + 5, which is a beginning and an ending. And the lunar year of the wood snake is about shedding our old skins and growing new ones. And among this, the words that have had an effect on me was fierce hope. So hope, not just hoping, but fierce hope that requires action and strength and participation. So that's what I got.
Hey, that's wonderful. Would you say it again? You said strength, participation, and there was another word. Do you remember?
Just fierce hope.
Yeah, I got that.
Okay.
Mhm. Wonderful. I love this word of fierce hope. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think it was strength, action, and participation.
Oh, action. Good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Got it. Okay. Now, Sat City.
Sup, everybody. Really happy to be here. My experience was really, really peaceful and serene, and the message I got was just become, embody, and radiate.
Become
Satnam, Satsi. Just become the fullest expression of who you are, your name, Sat City. So the great truth.
Mhm.
And oh gosh, I should have written it down. It'll come to me. That I can't. I was listening so carefully. I forgot what the rest was, but it was.
Wait a minute. How about simply about embodied? Just feel it right now.
Yeah.
Well, everybody find that.
Okay.
Find that for great truth. Feel that, knowing that. Use your heart breath and feel that. Mrs. certainly know about great truth, because in these times we have other people with great liars. You understand?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
And I
So-
just remembered what the other part was.
Okay, go ahead.
He said, keep listening to Peterson. What's a guy from Canada? Jordan Peterson, because I put him on. I've been in a big project of totally cleaning and simplifying my life and giving all sorts of stuff away, like a huge purge. And Jordan Peterson's this, he does a lot of podcasts, but and what said was, Baba Siri Chand said was, he's my student. And it turns out it is true that Jordan Peterson, who's on YouTube, look him up. He's incredible. He's a psychiatrist, psychologist, incredible leader right now out of Canada.
Mm.
And I guess he must have encountered all those wonderful yogis up there in Toronto, and in our the medical healer who's got her big ashram community up there and does so much teaching. We knew her a lot at ladies camp. I can't quite remember her name right now, but said, yeah, Jordan Peterson has been talking about Kundalini yoga mostly.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so I just urge you guys to listen to him. What I got was, because I'm cleaning and it's really good to have something on. It's so engaging and giving people wisdom and strength and love and heart and soul, really profound soul, with the from the perspective of a psychologist who did research he does a lot of work with the most crazy, dangerous people, like serial killers and all that stuff. But his whole thing is light. And he did mention that he's been deeply informed by Kundalini Yoga in one of his podcasts. And he's just a funny man with a beautiful family, and talks, helps people to have really good relationships, and embodies and expresses how to be healthy in this current condition, how to be psychologically healthy and spiritually healthy. So it was so funny to say, keep listening to Jordan Peterson while you're cleaning. That was
Okay.
He's my student.
Okay.
It's so funny.
Okay.
That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay. So, Baba Siri Chand was helping Peterson.
Yeah, Jordan Peterson.
Okay.
Yeah, former teacher at Harvard. Now he's just sharing everything he's learned through this. It reminds me so much of KRI, his organization, Kundalini Research, because who was our teacher who set up KRI, was in charge of it. But he's just a luminous public intellectual right now.
Wow.
He's helping us, guiding us, and giving us really good advice coming from soul. So that was confirmed for me, because sometimes I think, maybe I should play some mantra music or
Wonderful.
get more on the orthodox path of Kundalini yoga community. But nope, I got this crazy, very humorous, deeply soulful guy, Dr. Jordan Peterson, who's all over YouTube, and you can just look him up.
Okay.
Hundreds of podcasts.
Wonderful. Okay, I'll
Thank you
find
so much,
that.
Sir John. All right, look for him. I'll send you a link, actually.
Okay. Thank you, dear.
Satnam.
Okay. Now, Japa Saraswati.
No. Um, I I just felt so I started doing the heart breath and the ego eradicator,
Mhm.
and I'm reading from my notes a little bit, but I felt myself grounded down from my sits bones and from the bottom of my shushmana, and I felt this connection, almost like a tail straight down to Mother Earth, and that my body was a vector or a conduit. Also, like my arms were antennae, and that I was building up power and magnetizing myself and stilling everyday self, stilling my mind, stilling my monkey mind, so that I was all soul and no thought, and just giving way to the heart breath for this expansive self, um, feeling really deep compassion for myself and this very expanded aura, like really big, and then becoming aware of all of us doing it together at the same time and noticing that Baba must be telling us to do this now for some reason. This is the second week in a row. And feeling us as a constellation, or a network of higher vibration beings, that we are in some really challenging times, and that this is going to be one of the tools to help carry us and bridge us, and also that it's part of keeping the consciousness of planet Earth high and magnetizing us. Like I felt personally just really magnetized, like um, with that expanded aura, I was aware of the fact that I would naturally repel things that aren't good for me and attract things that are good for me. And that we're having such a potential barrage on the senses, that this is a really important tool for discernment. Um, there was I think that about says it. um, I could go on, but I feel like that's where the direction leads. That's where we are.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, yeah.
All of them. Mhm. Yes. And so you're talking about, how can we say, another layer of vibration for this age. Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah, oh, Set City, did you want to go?
Oh no, I'm good. Sorry, but I'm listening
I just
carefully.
I felt the heaviness of like a dark and oppressive sort of creeping seeping and that, well, what I sense is that the revolution, that this is the energy of the resistance, like when they sent the Buddhist monks to pray in Washington, D.C. for a month to reduce crime. And it so significantly reduced crime. And one of the statistics I think I remember from that was that it takes 1% of the population to be actively engaged in that prayerful energy to really, really drastically affect the environment around them. And if we have this creeping, seeping darkness, and Baba keeps telling all of us, this constellation of light workers, to do this meditation together, I just feel like we are polishing ourselves and being the lighthouse, being this high vibration, this high vibration sort of uplifting, because I feel that there is the resistance coming, politically speaking, and I think it's going to take a great deal of strength, and courage and faith and empowerment, because people have been told for so long that you don't have any power to stop this, you don't have any power here, we can't do anything about it. It's just, sort of that sort of talk that I think gets people really believing that they don't have the power. And then when we do a meditation like this, where we are so clearly very powerful, I feel that it's the upliftment our of our human race. That's what I feel about it.
How wonderful.
Yeah, and so then I just sat there in this sort of heart breath of it. I really just felt myself healing from it, felt myself. There's one of my favorite lines of poetry, is Olga Brumas, and she says, "No thought fondles the mind as a mystery." But I think of that with the no thought, that I feel that with the heart breath, or when you're just sitting in the light of awareness and just, being aware, no thought, and feeling myself as I felt like really the vector through which the ideas and through which the healing will is flowing. Like I've been really into my hot yoga practice lately because it's cold in the winter, and so I've been really sweaty, and I sweat really easily because of spending so much time in these really hot rooms. And but I feel all of my nadis flowing, and I feel the same thing with my hair. I feel like Ved was saying, the interconnectedness of the roots and the mycelia, and that's what I feel about that oneness with them. That's what I was really feeling with doing the heart breath. And then I felt this huge expansiveness of my own aura, and building on what Aagia Pal said, with that the more powerful one is, the more gentle they have to be. And I thought about, I have this uncle who's like, 6'4" and 300 pounds, and he has to move so gently not to break the couch, So he almost does it daintily, but I felt the more powerful one is, the gentler and the subtler they must be, and that, that's part of when we're expanding our aura like that, we are really building our power. But with great power comes great responsibility. We have to be that much more subtle. We have to be that much more gentle and aware, as to just be kind to ourself and to our environment. That's what it felt to me, that it was very powerful, but that it was also about great kindness to the self. Like my uncle, I guess I just feel like he could hurt himself if he moves too fast. He's a gentle giant, but you have to move intentionally and deliberately, and not in a state of haste, or don't do it if you've got a rush. I guess that's my closing thought. I'm rambling now.
Okay. Well, this is great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Look at all of our wonderful people, right? Oh, how about being? all of us about your being, because it feels like what you've been talking about is stepping up the next layer of the
Yeah.
age. Is that true?
Yeah.
And everyone comes together with the lightness. That's who you are. We are. Wonderful. Thank you. Good. And you know what? Because Baba Siri Chand said when we did this, it was to be for the heart pumping and then for strength. And then then Baba Siri Chand gave another word, but you know what? We will use it for next week. Okay? And I'll tell you then.
Okay.
Okay. God bless you both. And just feel that, what's happening.
Can I jump in real quick?
Yeah, who's that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, great. I as I'm listening to everybody, Baba Siri Chand, what I'm hearing most is fierce hope, as Harimandir said, and also fierce love, fierce compassion, the way we live our life, as Japa Saraswati, so and they, everybody, we right now, as we're going through this transformation, the energies of negativity are throwing tantrums like a little kid. They're just throwing tantrums all over the place, and we see this, and we are. It's imperative for us to address the world and ourselves fiercely, like the Black Madonna talks about the fierce love, her fierce love. So anyway, that was like a big message that I just got, that it's spiritual warriors, we're fierce and gentle at the same time, and never to forget that. Easy to remember, easy to forget when we see those around us throwing these crazy temper tantrums and crazy stuff, and to keep our navigation, straight on soul. Soul can be trusted. God can be trusted. Trust, fierce trust. Everything's fierce. Thank you.
And I'm hearing fierce grace.
Fierce. Oh, I love it.
Say it again.
Fierce grace.
No, what was the last word?
Grace.
Great, G-R-E-A-T?
No.
No, grace, Grace.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Amazing grace.
Yeah, fierce grace, like amazing grace.
Great. Wonderful.
Yeah. Which I love because that's my birth name. So, and I've always loved that notion of fierce grace. And I've always been aware of that. People see that as a contradiction, and it absolutely is not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, this is wonderful. Isn't that amazing? All of us know about your spiritual names. Are really amazing to know who you really are. God bless you, all of you. Okay, so now, Harimandir, will you begin with lead our song?
Okay. And because I love celestial communication, I encourage you to add your body and movement to it.
Mhm.
Inhale. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All love surround
Surround you.
and the
and the
pure light
light within
guide your way on. Guide
guide
your
your way.
guide your
way
on.
Now, wait a minute. Now, this time, unmute everybody. Everybody do the song together. Okay? Harimandir. Do it again.
May the
Water
guide your way
on.
guide
Your
way.
guide your
way
way on.
Bless you all. And this is true. Each of you. And that is your light. That's your kingdom power. God bless you all. Mwah.
Love you. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you next week. Oh, but about to knowing. Bless you.
I love you all. Thank you.
Love you.
Love you. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.